Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If I could please ask you to take your seats. We'd like to begin the program. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could please ask you to take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, if you please stand and join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Leading us will be Dina Abdu.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be seated. I knew that would get your attention, if anything works. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Omar Zaki. Tonight I'll be your Master of Ceremonies. And on behalf of Access California Services, I want to welcome each and every one of you to the 3rd Annual Gala. This year, we are celebrating 8 years as a services organization, and I'm delighted to be here tonight. It's wonderful to see so many friends and so many people from the community and come out and supporting this organization that has just done a tremendous amount of work in the area of social services. And you know, many people know this organization as providing medical services, as providing legal services, linguistic services, immigration, education, financial services, and even much more. But really, what this organization is all about, and quite honestly, why we're here tonight, is for 4 main reasons. Number 1, this organization is about a humanitarian cause. It's about us as human beings reaching out to others who need our assistance. Number 2, it's about empowering people. It's about standing up with those who are unable or in a situation that they cannot help themselves and giving those individuals the power to make things happen. Number 3, it's about taking the word disadvantage and removing the prefix dis and saying advantaged. And that's what this organization does. And lastly, and most notably, this organization is about giving people dignity. It's about giving people honor. It's about helping people stand up on their own in a way that allows them to progress, to take the opportunity to capitalize on this wonderful institution called the United States of America that so many of us here tonight have benefited from. And so with that, I want to thank you all here being tonight and being a part of that. And I can't think of any other person that's better at welcoming you this evening than Judy, who is the chairwoman of the board of directors for Access California Services. Judy has been so involved with this organization since day one. She's over 30 years in the social services. I'm sorry, Judy, that didn't. She's going to punch me in the stomach after this event, I know it. But Judy Nader, please come on up.
On behalf of the Board of Directors and the staff of Access California Services, I can't thank you enough for being here. I know that you two are here because you care about the community, you care about the dignity and the humanity of the folks that we serve, and are here to support them. You have joined the staff and the board this evening in making the services, all those services that Omar mentioned, possible. And I can't thank you enough for being here. I hope you have a really good time. If you're not having a really good time, you tell Omar, okay? Thank you.
On behalf of the community we serve, we would like to give this flower. It's nothing for Judy. She's been supporting us for almost 8 years, since the beginning. She's the first one to believe in my vision. And she was managing with a Community Action Partnership, a program where she gave me $2,000 to start the agency.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies. One other person that I'd like to also welcome up to the stage that's going to welcome you is the chairwoman of the gala this year, and she has just done a tremendous job. Wefa Kanan has been involved with this organization for many years. This year's, yes. Yes. So this year she's just done a fantastic job. So Wefa, would love to hear from you.
Good evening, everyone. Your presence speaks volume to the dedication and solidarity of Access California, to each and everyone who has contributed to the success of this evening and to the success of Access California. May your goodwill and self-sacrifice continue to inspire us all. As a sponsor, what intrigues me the most about Access is their vision and forward thinking, their ability to anticipate and facilitate the ever-growing needs of the community, fulfilling educational and social programs, employment and cultural services, and pioneering in collecting preservation of heritage and cultures. Access California has evolved into the single reality a new immigrant will need to integrate into the American society. Our goal tonight is to raise 100,000. Our goal as humankind is to raise awareness, sensitivity, and philanthropy. I want to encourage you, to all of you, to support Access and give because you want to give, and give to those who are less fortunate. Give to the underserved, to the vulnerable, to the helpless. Give so they may need hope. They need hope. Give to those arriving on a nightmare because they need access to dream with them, and they need them to give them that dream, the American dream. I honestly don't like to provide or give speeches, but I felt so, inspired by Nahla that I wanted to really share how amazing this woman is and how we all need to really provide the support that this community is really in need for. We need to learn how to give because sometimes something small, like maybe a kiss or a rose or a smile, may change the people's life forever. So please give these people who need you a great Valentine Day, which is coming soon. So thank you all for being here.
Hold on, Wafa.
Wafa did a wonderful work. There's no words to say to Wafa. I am stress-free with this event because of Wafa. She did a marvelous job, and she really believed in the organization. So please help me say thank you to Wafa. Without her help, I really don't know what can we do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wafa, for those wonderful words, and I could tell that those were very heartfelt. I hope you enjoyed your meal, and I thought this is an appropriate time to jump back into the program. So while you're enjoying your dessert and coffee, which should be served, I'd like to take the opportunity to recognize some of our key sponsors for this evening. So if you would, please hold your applause towards the end. Could I have your attention, please, in the room? Thank you so much, particularly in the back. Thank you. Our title sponsor for this evening, Hello Magazine. Our platinum sponsors, Occidental Petroleum, Islamic Relief, FTR. Our gold sponsors this evening, Mr. and Mrs. Musa Nas, Fan Vans. Thank you. Please hold your applause till the end. Fan Vans, Wells Fargo Bank. Our silver sponsors this evening, George and Amber Hatch. I hope I'm saying that correctly. The Dana Group, the Islamic Center of Irvine, Blue Cross of California, Barkat Family, Dina Shamas, Southern California Edison, California Teacher Association, Sasha Cosmetics, the Arabic Yellow Pages of Southern California, and the California Endowment. Let's give them a round of applause, please. You know, it's wonderful that our local government has also been so supportive. And not only has the city of Anaheim and the county of Orange been incredibly supportive of Access California services. Here this evening from Orange County, Supervisor for the 4th District representing Anaheim, Fullerton, Placentia, La Habra, and Buena Park. I'd like to ask Supervisor Chris Norby, who's also chairman of the Orange County Board of Supervisors, if you would come up and give us a welcome. Supervisor Norby.
مرحبا كيف حالك؟ I'm a politician. I deal with policy. I spend billions of dollars of your tax money every year. And we pass, oh, somebody's happy. We pass laws ranging from freeways to bark dogs. But of all of our laws, all of our policies can be distilled into one value, one commandment, which Access represents. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And it is more blessed to give than to receive. So to Access, I say, Alhamdulillah, and Shukran.
Thank you, Supervisor Norby. You have excellent Arabic skills. I'm much impressed. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening it brings me great pleasure. We have a visitor that's with us tonight all the way from Dearborn, Michigan. our next speaker. And Talib Salhab is the National Outreach Director for Arab Community Center for Economic and Social Services, also known as Access, but not affiliated with Access California. He is responsible for the direction, planning, and leadership of the National Outreach Department. Salhab works closely with the leadership team, the department, and the directors of the National Network for Arab American Community, which is one of the reasons why he's here tonight. Talib has a long history of community activism. For over 15 years prior to joining Access, Talib played a leadership role in the student movement in which local and national Arab American organizations to advocate for the empowerment of Arab American community. He served as a board member and then president of the Arab American Community Center in Orlando, Florida, all the way from Dearborn, Michigan, where it's so hot and warm. I'm sure he's delighted to be here with us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Talib Salhab.
Thank you, Omar, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I want to thank you, and I want to start out by thanking Access California Services for inviting me here today, and really reiterate what Omar said of thanking the staff, the board, and the volunteers of Access California Services for putting this wonderful event together. So please give them a round of applause. I want to say a few words about the organization I work with, Access in Michigan, the Arab Community Center for Economic and Social Services, and why I'm here today. Access started 36 years ago when a few people had a vision and a dream of empowering the Arab American community. Few people set up shop in a storefront with a broken window to assist newly arrived Arab immigrants, help them with translation, help them with social services, help them find a job, and whatever it took to really empower the Arab American community in Michigan. And that vision and dream forward 36 years today. Access today is the largest Arab American human service organization in the United States. Last year, thank you. Last year, in our first year, Access saw 150 clients, helped them with all sorts of services. Last year, with our programs combined, we came in contact with over 900,000 Arab Americans and other Americans throughout the state of Michigan in our various programs. We have a community health center, an employment and training center where we place people in jobs, a youth and education program, and our pride and joy, the Arab American National Museum, which opened in May of 2005, which is the only Arab American museum in the country dedicated to documenting the history of Arab Americans. I told them that I'd be brief, but I want to say a little bit about our relationship with Access California Services, because it's very, very important to know why we're here today and the important work that Access California Services does. We started 4 years ago our relationship with Access and with Nahla, and many kind things have been said about Nahla today, and I really want to reiterate that with our board. They've done a remarkable job. We convened a group of national Arab American organizations, local organizations, to see how we can empower the community on a national level. And we concluded with a simple vision, that in order for us as a community to be powerful on a national level, to be able to advocate for our community, to be able to get access to health care, to be able to have access to a quality education, to be able to defend our civil rights and defend our community against hate crimes and many of the other issues that affected us post 9/11, that we must have strong, vibrant, local organizations serving those communities. And so the vision was simple. Let us work with these organizations around the country, in Cleveland, in Anaheim, in Chicago, in Brooklyn, in Orlando, in Houston, and all over the country, to see how we can collectively work together towards the empowerment of our community. And that vision culminated in the establishment in 2004 of a network of community organizations called the National Network for Arab American Communities. Today, the network has 15 organizations in 10 different states, and they provide thousands and thousands of services in all areas of immigration services, cultural outreach, youth and education, and many, many other areas. And we are proud that Access California Services is a founding member of that network and continues to play a very, very vital role. Just briefly, there are 4 programs in the network. The Arab American Resource Corps, which is the only AmeriCorps program in the country providing community service volunteers to serve in these organizations. We have 60 members serving. And I'd like to just briefly, if I could get your attention briefly to recognize the members that are serving here, that are providing services to your community here locally. They are members of our AmeriCorps program. These are people who dedicate a year of their life to serve their community. And I know they've worked very, very hard on this event here. I know most of you came in contact with them outside, but some of them are here. If you could please rise when I say your name. Lena Kanawati. Lena Hilal. Nada Al-Attat. Sahima Shireen, Claudia Hosso, and Aisha Aslam. On behalf of Access, I would like to thank you for your service to your community and for the wonderful work that you do every day, serving your community and empowering your community. I'd like to end by saying this. Your presence here is appreciated. It means that you're committed to assisting Access California Services. And our vision and our mission is very clear. We believe that we must support and build and invest in the community organizations that are at the forefront of serving our community. So I strongly urge you to continue your support of Access California Services and other local organizations that are serving the community, that are at the forefront of empowering the community locally, so that we as a community nationally can continue to have a strong voice and advocate for our community. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, Tala. We appreciate that very much. I just also want to make sure I acknowledge 2 also very important people that are with us here tonight. I want to introduce to you the man that's keeping us safe and keeping the streets of Anaheim safe. With us this evening is the Chief of Police for the Anaheim Police Department, Chief John Welter. John. I just want to say one word. This is very important. If I could just have your attention, please, because there's still a lot of noise in the back of the room. Thank you. This community had a tremendous challenge, particularly the Arab American community in Anaheim, before the chief joined the department. I can tell you today that the relationship that this community has with the Anaheim PD and with the chief is superb. Thank you, Chief, for what you've done here in the city and this community. I also want to mention a very important friend to our community, Lori Galloway, Council Member, the City of Anaheim. Lori is with us this evening. And Lori has been phenomenal. She has been, when she was running for office, she was very visible in this community. She's taking a lot of the issues that we have at heart that are important to us and have brought that perspective to the City of Anaheim. Keep in mind, our community is now really growing in this city, and our voice is starting to reach City Hall finally. So we're glad that that is happening. We are at the portion of our evening where we want to have our awards ceremony. There's 3 distinguished awards that we're giving this evening. to present those awards, I want to ask Judy Mader to come up and Nahla Klaya, and I will allow you guys to present those awards.
Tonight, we are honoring Joseph Hyatt. He's the publisher and founder of the, boy, I can't read up here, that's too bad. Let me try again. Publisher and founder of the New Circle Publishing House in Los Angeles, and publisher of the Arab American Affairs magazine. I think most of you know him very well. He's the founder and president of the Arab American Historical Foundation in LA, an organization dedicated to promote preservation and dissemination of Arab American history. He has been, through all of his many activities, and I've only mentioned a few, a very fine friend to the Arab American community and to Access California. Maybe most importantly, he's married to Teresa, has 4 children and 5 grandchildren. And I'm sure with all of his activities, Teresa needs some recognition too. We honor him tonight for these wonderful accomplishments on behalf of the Arab American community. Joe?
Thank you. Thank you, Nahla and Access Board, and good evening, everybody. I am really honored with your distinguished award. I am really grateful to all. In my remarks, I would like to point to the importance of preservation and dissemination of Arab American history. It is important to know that the Arab American press an important role in recording history. Researchers and historians always rely on the press in writing history. That's why I have established the Arab American Historical Foundation to help promote conservation and dissemination of Arab American history. Being in publishing for the last 35 years, a lot of history has been recorded in the New Circle Arab American Affairs magazine. This is in addition to 5 editions of the Arab American Almanac and our close relation with the National Arab American Museum and national organization, including there is something going for many years that many people perhaps they know, we publish it in our magazine. There is a committee, it's called Americans for Gibran Khalil Gibran Stamp. And this is working very closely now with the postmaster. And I have the news for you, it seems, I'm not sure, but it seems in 2008, we might have a postage stamp for Gibran Khalil Gibran. Last October, we held the first Arab American History Conference in Los Angeles with participation of many scholars who pressed for more historical preservation. The University of Maryland has expressed interest in hosting the second conference later this year. It is sad when we open the website of the California Historical Society and you find nothing addressing the history of Arab American Californians among endless entries of various ethnic groups and issues. I hope we are working to correct this issue. I don't have time, but I would like to say a little, just a smile, but it's a historic smile. Since we have the chief of police here also, in 1911, this gentleman is named George Shishin. He was a sergeant with the police force of Venice, near Santa Monica. And he arrested a young man doing probably hair. It seems that his dad was a prominent lawyer, and he told Shishin that he can arrest his son because he is Mongolian of Chinese yellow race. We from Asia, Middle East, Asia, we were Mongolian at that time. And as you know, the history, how California at that time, with the Chinese community, with the gold rush, with all that was going on. Then, the story is long, but I want to. Then the community at that time, they called themselves at that time the Syrian Lebanese community. In the court discussion, and they asked the court, what do you consider Jesus Christ, white or Mongolian? So the court said white. They said, if that's the case, Shishin is coming from his neighborhood. Well, I don't want to really work more on my little, I have 3 minutes, I use them, but really I would like your support, and a very important point, to support the Arab American press. They are the initiators of history. All researchers, they go back to the press to find history and record history. And your support to the press is very important, and please support the Arab American Historical Foundation and anybody that knows groups for funding, and I'm happy to hear. Again, thank you, Nahla and the Access Board, for honoring me tonight. God bless you all. Wassalamu alaikum.
Rusty Kennedy is our next honoree, and I could go on also about him for 15 or 20 minutes. He's the executive director of the Orange County Human Relations Commission. In fact, he has been for the last 25 years. He is also the founding CEO of the Orange County Human Relations Council, which has been for the last 16 years. The mission of the Orange County Human Relations Council and Commission are very important to us in that their goal is to promote understanding among diverse residents, eliminate prejudice, intolerance, and discrimination. Rusty has been in the forefront of all efforts in Orange County to promote the peace and justice for our people. Kennedy organized and led, his name's really Rusty, I don't know why I called you Kennedy, organized living room dialogues after 9/11 so that people of diverse communities could come together, get to know one another, get to know one another's cultures in a very informal, friendly place. And these have, I think, really borne good fruit for the County of Orange. Since Access was founded all those years ago, and we had our one desk, or actually it was a table in a really, really bad little room, he has been a very enthusiastic supporter of this organization. In fact, he was telling me tonight he kind of liked the original name CARE or US, as did I, but we are now really big and important, so we're Access California Services. We don't sound like a toy store anymore. But he has been our cheerleader, and he has been with us all the way in the things that we have done. And so it's our great pleasure to present him with this award tonight. This paparazzi is pretty nice.
You're very gracious, and I'm deeply honored to be here tonight. I don't have but a couple things to say, but about 8 years ago, I learned of a small group of people gathered together in Anaheim to try to reach out and help some communities that were struggling with, and some of the people, the needy people that needed assistance with housing and food and immigration and understanding the system. And they came together. In fact, I was asked by the Board of Supervisors for whom I work to come and meet with them and help to see if we could help them to work within a orchestrated social service system to try to reach out and bring services to the Arab and Muslim communities as well. They formed KRS, serving, particularly reaching out to the Arab and Muslim community. But what I was really struck with, and something that I very much appreciate and celebrate with you today, is that KRS, today known as Access California Services, comes together to serve people that are in need. People of all ethnicities, races, backgrounds. It's not who you are, it's whether or not you have need. And that is a beautiful aspect about this organization. And I really appreciate, after 9/11, actually just before 9/11, we were doing the dialogue that brought KRS board members and others, Maria Kani and Nadia Saad-Bettendorf from our commission and others together with Nahla and the board members and others from, as well as Latinos from Colonia Independencia, to talk and learn about each other since they were coexisting in the same rural neighborhood. So I'm really proud of those efforts that Nahla has led for Access to become a major provider of important services to people that are needy. And as the supervisor said, there's no higher calling really than to serve others in this manner. And with that, I'd like to thank you very much and indicate that we're all here tonight to celebrate this, this service to the community. I'm here as a representative of the Human Relations Commission created by the Board of Supervisors. Ken Inoue, the chair of the Human Relations Commission, is here with me, as is Nadia Saad-Bettendorf, the vice chair. I appreciate them being here. Two wonderful people to work with, and Supervisor Norby for enabling our work as the chairman of the Board of Supervisors. And of course, my prime support and sustenance comes from my wife, Anita Burrell, who's with me. Thank you very much.
My poor husband already knows he's going to have to hear how much I like technology all the way home. I'd like to call forward, please, Nadia Al-Badri and Hanan. I'm sorry, Hanan. Hanan, you know who you are. Would you both please come forward? These are two very precious members of this community, and they are going to tell you their story.
Hi.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm trying to think of what I want to say. My dad wrote the speech for me. When I've known Hanan my whole life, and when we went through the whole kidney donation and she needed obviously the transplant and none of her family matched, it wasn't a big deal to me. So when Nahla had asked me to give this speech and to do this and to tell how I feel, it wasn't like, to me it's not a big deal. I know it's like really hard for people to understand that, but it's like, she was like my sister. You see somebody suffering, you're a match. They told me that, they kept asking me, how much, are you getting any money? Because I guess kidneys are going for like $20,000 now. But she got a discount. And I just, to be honest, I did no research. My dad did all the research for me. I didn't even know I had 2 kidneys. It was like no big deal. But it's funny because I have a scar on my side and, I show people and like, in Islam, you're not supposed to pull up your shirt and show people. And my dad's always saying, why don't you go up on stage and show everybody your scar? But I just wanted to say that there's about 75,000 people that are waiting for a kidney transplant. There's like 4,500 donors. People donate. Most of them are deceased. And I've known Hanan my whole life. And from what I hear, I gave her the good kidney because I got the bad one. I'm gaining weight, she's losing. But the hospital that I went to, St. Joseph Hospital, amazing. I do have to say thanks to Dr. Chamberlain, my doctor, and Hanan's doctor, Dr. Ruzek, and my family for supporting me. You guys read my thing. My boss was terrible. She didn't support me at all. So I have nothing good to say about that. But the Badakshi family, obviously my friend Juju, who's taking pictures right now, took care of me. My mom, who took care of me. I was super grouchy and super drugged up, so I was not a good person to be with the whole time. My dad for helping me with a speech, for researching about, because I honestly, I didn't even look. I was just like, hey, you want it? Take it. I don't need it. And I'm healthy. Everything's normal. So I get free haircuts now. My gym membership's waived. I get free facials. I'm like, I would have done this a long time ago. So this is Hanan.
Hi, everybody. I'm not going to be as funny as her, of course, but I just want to say that it's really important for everybody to be aware that so many people need donors, and even if you don't donate an organ, donate blood, please. Oh, okay. Well, I was saying that even if you can't donate an organ, please donate blood, because so many people need the help. And without Nadia, without my family, I couldn't have done this. It was a struggle, but here I am, made it, we're super happy. And she's a great friend, what can I say? And her family's wonderful, and I'm healthy. I feel great. That's it.
Thank you.
That was very heartfelt. Even guys in here started wadding up some tears. See, there's one brother right there that's proud. It's okay, brother, you can cry. It's no problem. Thank you very much. I think we're done playing musical microphones, so hopefully we won't have any more problems throughout the evening. Judy and Nahla, thank you so much. This allows us to talk to, since Nahla is up here on stage, it's a perfect opportunity. And I think we all know Nahla as the executive director and the founder of what used to be known as CARE-RS until it changed its name in 2005. You know, she's a very modest and very shy behind-the-scenes woman, but I tell you, she is... Are you Nahla, really? Are you shy and behind the scenes? She's turning red. But I can tell you, she is a dynamic individual. Nahla is a pioneer in Southern California in exploring government services available to and for the community. Access has provided more than 41,000 units of services to the community since its inception in 1998. That is amazing. She is a strong community leader and a driving force behind the first Arab American and Muslim Summit held here in Anaheim in spring of 2004. Nahla's activities span the breadth of the nation and the world. She is a co-founder of the Palestinian American Women's Association, PAWA, and has conducted many fundraising. Thank you. You can clap. Has conducted many fundraising programs to aid Palestinian children for the last 25 years. She has served on numerous boards, executive committees, task forces, and councils of significant nonprofit organizations locally as well as nationally. She was an active California member of the national campaign to build the first Arab American National Museum in Detroit, Michigan. In Orange County, she is a board member of the Community Action Partnership, a former member of the United Way Health Council and Health Consumer Action Center of the Legal Aid Society. I can go on and on and on about Nahla and her participation not only on a local level but on the state level. Recently, Nahla had a front page story. I don't know if hopefully some of you saw it in the Orange County Register, where she was featured in the January 10th, 2007 front page. She is a very shy person, so we have to be gentle with her tonight. But she has been practicing this speech. So, with that said, please give Nahla Gala a warm, wonderful welcome.
Thank you, Omar. I really don't like to be here. But because of you all, with your support, that's where we are here. We're so spoiled by all of you. You give us, and we deliver. So I'm going to go over a presentation. I promised them it's not going to be more than 10 minutes. There's a brochure about Access California services on the table. So I'll walk you through it with all the services we provide. Most of our services, God, there's no lights here. Every year, recently in 2006, we provided more than 5,000 units of services to the community. I'm sorry, there's no light. 75% of our clients are Arab American or Muslim. 25% of our clients are from the general public. We provide services in English, Arabic, Spanish, Caucasian, Armenian, Urdu, and Farsi. We collaborate with many organizations for services. To name some of the collaborations, without them we really cannot deliver. Arab American Center for Economic and Social Services, most of our AmeriCorps are paid by them. Most of our staff, 80% of our salaries are paid by them. North Orange County College District for the Education Department. Legal Aid Society, which Nancy is here. Community Action Partnership of Orange County, which I'm a board member, and we started the agency by their help. And Healthcare Agency of Orange County, and Giving Children Hope. In 2006, we provided more than 5,000 services. To go over the presentation, a mother, her name is Sarah. She was married to an immigrant to her country where they revoked her visa after 10 years of marriage. They filed with United Nations to come United States. When they arrived, they were placed in with a family here in Orange County with no money, no English, and little of education. In the effort of the father was disabled, they went to get medication, and a pharmacist directed them to Access California Services. First visit was so emotional. The three of them walked into the office. They sat on the chairs and they start crying. You cannot believe the way they were crying, and they felt it was a relief to them. First, Sister Maria Khani, she's still the director of the Financial Assistance Program. She evaluated the case, and immediately I called one of you and sponsored the rent and the move from that house to put them in an apartment. One of you here, and we're proud of you. We helped them to move into their apartment. We helped the father to get into disability. We sent one of our staff with them to get into disability. We helped them to enroll the child in the school. One of our staff members went with them. Last November, we had to enroll them in Section 8 housing. We translated many forms, many materials for them. The mother enrolled in the ESL class with us. She was graduated from the parenting home, which is the daycare licensing. We helped her to do her resume, and through our job listing, we found her a job. With our health department, so far we enrolled more than 9,600 children and families in the program. At one time, Access California Services, we were top 12 agencies enrolling children in the program with the state of California. We provide a lot of advocacy for the community, and we're very proud of that. Immigration services, we assist them to become citizens, to adjust their status, and to advocate for them. The family now, in their own home, father remains disabled, and he's home with the child. The child is doing great in school, and he's an English champion. Mother is working at a grocery store in the morning. In the afternoon, she's a nanny for 5 children. Through our daycare licensing, she can be able to help many children. And on weekends, she takes care of 4 children at her house. All this, it was accomplished in 1 year, in 2006. Those are one of the stories. We helped more than 2,500 families and individuals in 2006, and we're proud, and because of your support. In 1998, I only had 2 clients. In 2006, we had 2,500 clients. And as you can see in the chart, in 1998, we served 8 units of services. Right now, in 2006, we delivered over 5,000 units of services. There's a difference between clients and services. We count the clients once a year, but we count the units of services when they keep coming to the office. We count those visits. Through funding, In 1998, with the Community Action Partnership and with the help of Judy, she was managing the program, we had $2,000. Our budget in 2006, close to $500,000. And as you see, there's some down in our funding due to the budget deficit from the state. We lost our grant of $155,000, but we managed to keep the door open for our clients, and they did not feel that we were lacking funding. And all staff, they came the second morning after we laid everybody from work. Everybody, they were at work delivering services to the community. Yes, I always hear, Nahla did it. Believe me, Nahla did not do it. You did it. See how many people? We were oversold. We had to stop selling tickets 2 days ago. You help us, you support us, and we deliver. Our future project will be, by your help, and we have it, family support program, which we get a lot of calls from the different agencies. They need mental health. We need to provide mental health for our community. Schools are calling, children's services are calling, social services are calling. They really need help. And we are the only agency providing services to our community. We would like to provide group counseling, anger management classes, domestic violence, after-school program, prevention classes for smoking, gangs, and violence. Our seniors are waiting for services, and we just hired Sahima to start the program. Colleges and universities are collaborating with us to do some research about the community. This year, we're going to try to help our community with earned income credit and tax preparation. All this, we reach our maximum in our office to deliver services, so we really need to expand. We deliver all those services in a 3,000 square foot in the building with here. Our future project, with your help, we really need a community center. We want the whole family to come and enjoy the services, and with your help, inshallah, we'll do it. These are projects between 3 to 5 years maximum, and I promise you, God will. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. Ooh, sorry. But a lot of this is due to the support of the community, but one person the staff would like to recognize is Nahla Kayali. She is there, honestly, at least 12 hours a day. She's constantly going to meetings. She's constantly helping writing proposals to get funding. She cares so much for the community. And we want her to truly know that we really love and respect her. She is not only a role model to us, but she's like a mother and a sister. And we love you a lot. Oh, I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Amanda, thank you. That was emotional too. This whole evening's been full of emotions. I mean, guys, come on, that was pretty emotional, right? We have a wonderful keynote speaker with us tonight that I'm delighted she's here, and that is really somebody who's been at the heart of social services, and I think is going to give a powerful message to our community in terms of the work that this organization has done. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted tonight that Ms. Rita Sines is with us this evening. Rita is an executive program director. If I could have your attention, please, in the back. Thank you very much. Rita is the executive program director in the healthcare area for Affiliated Computer Services Government Solutions. Most recently, Ms. Sines was the chief executive officer of the Academy for Coaching Excellence. Before joining the Academy, Ms. Sines served as director of the California Department of Social Services. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to just impact to you this department that she managed. She was responsible for a $21 billion, that's B as in billion-dollar budget, and had 4,700 employees, 51 offices across the state. She was appointed by Governor Davis in 1999. The department managed the welfare to work program, child welfare services, community care licensing, 80,000 facilities, disability evaluation review, adult protective services, and services for refugees. Quite an awesome responsibility for the state of California. She worked for many years in the field of alcohol and drug abuse programs, at one time serving as director of the Office of Alcoholism and later the Department of Alcohol and Drug Programs for California. Ms. Sines serves on the board of directors of the Plexus Institute and the international nonprofit Children Uniting Nations. She is a recipient of numerous awards for her work, including 100 Most Influential Hispanics in the Nation, the Hispanic Woman of the Year Award 2001, and acknowledgement for her support of tribal people in California. We are so privileged to have her with us here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Rita Sines. And if I could just ask, there's still a lot of talking. If I could just please, we can give Ms. Sines our undevoted attention. I'm sure that we will walk away with so much information. Thank you, Rita.
Well, the secret is out. I'm not Arab, I'm Hispanic. But I do want you to know that at one time in Washington, D.C., I almost got arrested because they thought that I was Persian protesting the Shah of Iran. All it took was a "excuse me" to get out of that. Well, I want to tell you how it looks from here and what I see. And it has been my business to assess the quality and the contribution of people for many years. This is what I see from here. A group of people who are resilient. A group of people who are willing to do anything they can to ensure that their families and their community is well served. People who are proud of their heritage and at the same time want to be a part of what this country is and want to make their contribution to it. And I can tell you that this country needs your contribution. Being Mexican American, there are a number of analogies. Earlier, a speaker talked about hope. And I think some of the stories that I have to offer you as a Mexican American may give you some hope. Because at one time, Mexican American in this country was synonymous with lazy and stupid. And it is no longer. And at some point in this country, it will become very clear that Muslim and Arab is not synonymous with extremist. financially tonight have been acknowledged. And it's a wonderful thing, because even statewide, this program is recognized to be a jewel in the crown of this community. Access California is a member, a very important member, of the California Family Resource Association, a group of people statewide who do this kind of work in their own communities and do it well. You have the support of elected officials in your community. That is no small matter. It takes what Nahala has been saying all along, the ability to deliver. People do not fund organizations that don't deliver. They are looking for inspiration, but they are looking for results. And this organization has produced those results. I see that you have an acknowledgement from Governor Schwarzenegger outside the door. I want you to know that one of your fans, former Governor Davis, and his wife Sharon, also send their regards. They are very familiar with this program and the difference that it has made in this community. Because Nala has explained what the programs do, I want to give you a little bit of context, because I find sometimes that people are reluctant to get engaged in services because they don't understand the history of the development of those services. During the economic depression in the 1930s in this country, elected officials and communities all over the country decided that people needed to be supported because of what happened to such a large extent in this country. They saw that for no reason, due to their own failings, that people could encounter problems that they couldn't handle. And so in the 1930s, this country, the President and the Congress, passed a bill to establish Social Security and the kinds of programs that you are seeing today. During World War II, corporations and the Army went to the Congress to establish the WIC program because they said that the young men who came to the armed forces were undernourished and had not developed properly because they couldn't get the right foods to eat. Welfare, which we now know as CalWorks and Welfare to Work, was established for widows and orphans. There is a desire to support and include each member of the community in order to ensure the health of the whole community. This country has always been strongest and most vibrant when it takes on the qualities of a tapestry. In this tapestry, the gifts, talents, and contributions of all are operative. The strength of this tapestry is what makes the United States of America beautiful and strong. And this community is a bright, vibrant thread in that tapestry. Programs that are funded and offered in the Health and Human Services area are intended to serve and strengthen California locales. Unfortunately, in order to account for those funds, some of the forms and rules and processes are extremely complex, difficult to understand, confusing to comply with. But really, it was never our intention to keep people away from those programs for that reason. Here's where a program like Access California is most valuable and so critical. It helps to pave the way to help people negotiate all those complexities. It helps to ensure that individuals, families, and children secure the assistance, which is a hand up, not a handout. This is not charity. This is a service to the entire community. And often people feel ashamed or reluctant because they don't want to see us seen as being dependent on the community or on government. But I can tell you that there are many people in this country who for a few moments or for a few years needed the help that these programs offered, and they are now extremely successful. And why? Because they learned a lesson when they got the assistance they got. They became strong enough to be able to give to others when those people were in the same situation. It was a reinforcement of compassion. Now, the most important point that I want to make, again, is that this country needs you. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples of why it is a hopeful situation. In my community, we received a grant from an organization that I worked with many years ago. It was for alcoholism services. The grant said basically this: take a look at what alcoholism services are available in your community, and then write a grant to enhance those services. Well, our assessment was very simple. There were no services. We went to the mental health department. We asked them, do you see people here who have mental health problems? We were told no Hispanics had mental health problems. So we said, well, how did you determine that? Well, none of them come here. Well, do you have anybody who speaks Spanish? No. Does this sound familiar? One of the things that is very important to Mexican families is the protection offered to women. When I was with this program, we discovered that women who would not tell their husbands problems they were having, feminine problems that they were having, were forced when they went to the hospitals and clinics to have the janitor interpret what they were saying to the doctor. All of those problems have been solved. And I'll tell you how it happened. Taking the things that we were proud of, our heritage, our language, our skill and strength, we went into the communities. We assimilated, but still retaining and respecting our heritage. And we became a part of the fabric of that community. People began to know who we were. As people need to know who this community is. Because this community has as much to contribute as any of the waves of immigrants that ever came to this country. Language, culture, arts, music, the sensibility of how to live, a spiritual strength. All of these are so critical and so valuable at this time in the development of this country. And yes, in every country at any time, there are people who are fearful, who are ignorant, who say and do things that are hurtful and shameful. But you need to know that in this country, there are, for every one of those people, there are millions of people who welcome and embrace you. You know, you hear a lot of things in the newspaper. The newspaper in this country sells to make news. It doesn't necessarily sell to tell the whole story. And everywhere partnerships are being developed between the Arab community and other communities. Remember, unless you're an American Indian, we all came here with immigrant families. Every single one of us. So my invitation to you is to get yourself involved, stay involved in your local community, but keep the love and respect for your heritage. Teach your children. I am the product of an assimilation move that took place after World War II, and as a result of that, I don't speak Spanish. It is one of the great losses for me. My parents didn't speak Spanish to us because they were encouraged to teach their children only English. Don't let that happen to you. Teach your children pride and respect for that heritage so that when they're challenged, they can stand with dignity and educate the ignorant. Finally, let me say that whether or not you arrived in this country 200 years ago, as my family did, or a month ago, this is our country now. We have the rights, obligations, and ability to contribute that everybody else does. Because the bottom line is this: we're here to stay, and we intend to make a difference. Thank you. Just want to let you know that our first grant from the state of California was delivered to our agency during her time, during Rita Science. When I read the grant, I said, how did they fund us? It was so ugly, but they believed in us. That was during her time. We received, after 6 months, $65,000 to continue the services, and they've been believing on us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
على عيد والعيد العيد. بيتك هلا